Hey guys, it's Johanna. I got a package in the mail, so I thought I would share it with you guys. I ordered it. I got it pre-ordered, so I actually ordered this like a couple months ago, I want to say. So to be honest, I kind of forgot that I had purchased it. So it was a little bit of a surprise when I got it in the mail. But this is the Break the Rules palette from Itsbel Cosmetics, which is an indie brand. So you might not have seen it before. I think the first time I ever saw it was advertised to me on Instagram, and just the second that I saw the pictures of the shadows themselves, I fell in love. So I went out on a limb and I purchased it. I've seen a few reviews of it, but not very many since it's not a very well-known brand. I believe this is their only palette. So they don't have a lot of products out yet, but if everything else is as good as this one, I think that they will do really well. So for this, first things first, I do want to make sure that this review is pretty thorough, just since it is an indie brand. I think that there are pros and cons to purchasing from indie brands. So I just wanted to make sure that I really kind of hammer home some of the highlights and any criticisms that I might have for it. So it did arrive in a bubble mailer. I think that I would have preferred it to arrive in a box. So I think that pricing wise, it was really reasonable, but at the same time, I feel like the shadows are a little bit fragile, just with them being a very kind of a chunky shimmer formula. You can tell that it's probably hand pressed. I'm not 100% sure on that, but definitely has a delicate formula. So I feel like having it packaged in a bubble mailer is not the greatest idea. I could definitely see people having issues with the shades arriving damaged. If it happens to get kind of jostled in transit. So I got the bundle, which included both the palette and then also a hand mirror. So hand mirrors aren't something that I use very often, but I don't have one at all, so I figured it would be a nice thing to have on hand. So this is what it looks like. It just has the Break the Rules artwork on it. To be honest, I could care less about the actual design on it. The reason that I kind of bought the bundle with the mirror was because it was, they had like 2 different ways that you could order the palette. And then I think the bundle that was just the palette by itself was sold out. And then I want to say that the only other option was with the mirror, but I do think that I'll get use out of it because I don't have anything else like it. That said, I'll probably end up putting stickers on the outside of it, just because I have a lot of stickers and I like putting stickers on like my Caboodle and my my Adept palette. So I'll probably end up putting some stickers on that. I'm not super into the design of it. I don't dislike it by any means, but it's not like I'm super enthusiastic about it either. So along with the bubble mailer and the mirror, it also came with a couple stickers. So here are the 2 little stickers that it came with. Really cute. I have a hot air balloon tattoo actually on my thigh, so I like the little hot air balloon. It's really cute. So those may or may not go on my mirror. And now for the palette itself. It does have the same design on it. It just comes in a little cardboard sleeve. Again, the artwork's cute, but I also feel like it kind of seems like something that like any basic graphic designer could make. So I feel like there is room for improvement on the designs, but that's just my opinion. The palette itself, it is fairly small. I would say that it's probably just slightly bigger than a ColourPop 9 pan, but this is what it looks like. So as you can see, The shadows are super, super reflective, and every single shadow in here is super special. I don't think I have anything like these in my collection, so I'm really, really happy that I picked this up. Obviously, this isn't a palette that you'd want to use by itself just because there are no mattes in it, but I think if you have a collection which is just kind of mainly, you know, more basic palettes, I think that something like this is something really, really cool to have on hand, because then you do have those fun pops of color if you do want to reach for it. These colors are not available in singles, but I think that would be a really smart thing for them to do too, is to launch them as singles. So this is what she looks like. I will go ahead and show you some swatches here next. And then I figured that I would go ahead and do an eye look, but I'm gonna do two different things. So we'll do one color combination on one eye and then something different on the other eye, just so that I have the chance to get as many of these colors on the eye as possible so you can see how they perform. Other things to note with this palette, I will point out that the first two ingredients are talc and mica. And why that's important, there are a lot of people out there that have sensitivities to talc. It is a binder ingredient which can cause irritation for some people. I think some people might find it a little disappointing that the first ingredient is talc, just because it does tend to be like a cheaper filler ingredient. That said, I don't have any issues with irritation or allergies or anything like that with talc, so I don't really mind, but I can see why that would be a concern for some people. Also, with mica, there are some concerns that have been kind of broached in the beauty community lately as of where mica is coming from. I haven't done a ton of research myself on it, but if you are somebody that considers yourself a eco-conscious consumer, that might be something that you want to look into before splurging on it. Other than that, I think we're pretty much ready to dive right in. The only other thing is I do notice some pigments in here which are probably going to stain. That's not something that bothers me. It's not like I'm going to have a problem if my eyes are a little pink the next day, but if you're somebody that's kind of newer to makeup, these will probably stain. So we'll go ahead and jump right into the swatches. I don't know if you heard my dogs bark in the background, but they are downstairs kind of playing, so you might end up hearing them having fun down there, like you just did now. All right, so I turned flash on here just so you could really get a good close-up here. Just see some of the reflex that are in here before I go ahead and proceed with swatching it. And for the swatches, I am gonna have to swatch them on the upper part of my right arm, just because I do have tattoos on my left arm that would make it a little bit difficult to see. So there we have it. And this shade is definitely a little bit more red leaning in person than it looks on camera. There, you can kind of see it. But I know that some lighting does kind of make it look more of like a burnt orange. So on the top row, we have Bold, Stay Radical, and Not Listening. And I will also, after I swatch them, I will put, I will show them with the flash on as well. And I definitely think that flash shows it best. And then I did go ahead and build them up a little bit just so you can see them a little bit better. Had to clean my fingers off in between because, like I said, I think that they are going to stain a little bit. So for the next row, we have Make Me, Go Rogue, and Eager for More. This shade in the middle, the blue flash on that is really different. Ooh, that one swatched really, really well. And I will build those up as well before moving on to the next row. And here are those built up a little bit more. And then the next row, we have Your Choice, Rebel, and Just Watch. And as you can see, like I predicted, this shade definitely stained. So you can see it under this, but I did clean my fingers off, so it should still swatch okay. Oh yeah. And I will build those up too, and then I will show all of the swatches with flash as well. All right, so this is what the swatches look like with flash. And as you can see, they're extremely reflective. I definitely feel like there really aren't any mainstream brands that offer this type of sparkle. I think that's kind of really where indie brands shine, no pun intended. So there we have it. And I definitely feel like the formulas of them are different between the different shades. I think some of them, like these first two, perform really similarly, whereas some of the other ones, like this red shade that is more of a metallic with less of actual like that glittery sparkle. But I will give them a try on the eyes and we'll see how they compare to each other. All right, so my eyes are primed and ready to go. As far as eyeshadow primer goes, I just used a Milani eyeshadow primer. Doesn't really matter, whatever suits your preference. And then for the matte that I'll be using, since I'm gonna do a really bright, colorful look, I'm just gonna go ahead and use the electric palette and then the Huda Neon Obsessions. And we'll kind of use those to complement the Break the Rules palette. So I'm gonna try not to spend too much time on getting my bases down that I will be using as my kind of, I can't think of a word other than base, but you get the point. So I'll get some of these on and then we'll go ahead and see what I can do as far as playing with the new palette goes. So I think for the first look, I would like to do something with neon green and neon orange, since the palette has a couple of really cool shades, and the orange shadow that's in here has a really cool green flash to it. So I'm gonna play with that and see where that takes us. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and use Thrash from the electric palette.
Gonna make some really unattractive faces as I look into the camera and see how it's going, but okay. And then for the orange, I think I am going to use a couple shades from the Huda palette, and I do have a little color switch here. So if you have a limited amount of brushes, if you're kind of a beginner, you don't have time to clean your brushes. If you just use a little color switch, it's basically just like a little piece of foam sponge in a tin. They used to be stupidly expensive, but you don't have to get like the official color switch brand. I think I just got mine at Walmart for like literally $3. I'm sure that you can make yours yourself if you have the right materials as well. I have not done that, but I think mine was just like a little, I think it was just a generic brand, to be honest. Okay, and then I am just going to deepen up the outer edge here. Probably gonna work that into the crease a little bit. Take that lighter orange shade here and just kind of create a nice gradient. All right, now here for the fun part. And so I'm gonna use glitter glue for these shadows as well. You probably don't have to, but just when it comes to making sure that the look is as intense as you want it to be, I always figure better safe than sorry. I'd rather spend the extra 2 seconds just getting it on than skip it and then end up wishing that I used it. So here we are. And I think for this, I'd like to use a lot of that orange shade. So I am dipping into Stay Radical, and then I think I'm going to be using the green shade probably underneath, this kind of like a liner situation. Oh, I love that. That is absolutely beautiful. And you can definitely see how different it looks over the area where I don't have that darker orange base on it compared to the other one. And then I might have to go grab a liner brush to do that bottom area. Actually, I think I'll just use this guy. I think it's thin enough that it'll work. And we'll see how it does on a brush. I feel like it might not work very well, actually. Yeah, I don't think that's gonna work. How can I incorporate that in there? Maybe I'll try putting that actually like in the crease a little bit. Sorry, my dogs are having a heyday down there. I have 2 French bulldogs and an English bulldog. And the English bulldog is still really young. He's barely a year old, but you wouldn't know it. He is full-on puppy energy. I know a lot of people aren't fans of like shimmer in the crease, but personally, I like it. I feel like it kind of opens the eye area up a little bit more. All right, so I'm gonna move on to the next eye and kind of play around with some of those colors, and then I'll go back to this one and decide how we want to finish it off. All right, so for this one, I decided I want to do a pink and purple look using this color and this color, maybe even this color. We'll see how I feel. And again, just gonna start out with kind of building up the crease. So for this, I'm gonna use this shade from the Neon Obsessions palette. Just putting that on a fluffy brush. Yep, got a little crazy there. Oh my gosh, my dogs are being so naughty down there. I can tell. I think for this one it would be fun to do some like neon purple eyeliner. That would be really fun. My dogs are gonna be grounded after this. Just kidding, it's not that big of a deal. You guys don't care, I don't care. I'm gonna do kind of a similar split color on this side with just with purple and pink instead of the orange. I'm really impressed with like the duochrome on this side, because a lot of times I feel like it looks very duochrome in the pan but not as much on the eyes, but I definitely feel like you can really see it like shift on the eye, so that's nice. Kind of a nice little surprise. And I think I'm gonna put a little bit of purple in the crease here, or on the just a little right here, just in that very little spot. And for this one, I'm using Urban from the Electric palette. Okay, not with that brush though. That brush is not gonna do the trick. Let's try this again. You can't see me, but this is what I'm doing down here. Just getting some on my brush. But yeah, if you want to meet my precious little angels down there, I could definitely introduce them on camera sometime. No kids for me, but I love my doggos. Okay. All right. And then again, it is glitter glue time. And then back to the Break the Rules palette. I can definitely tell that this purple shade would be really pretty with a blue look. That would be really nice. And now it's pink time. This one would look really good with a blue look too. Oh, I love that. That is gorgeous. All right, I'm gonna quick grab an eyeliner brush and a little pencil brush. That way we can just add some final touches on here. Grab some eyeliner and we'll go from there. So I'm sure it's pretty obvious so far, but how I feel, but I am really impressed. Like, I definitely don't have anything else in my collection that I feel like is comparable to this. Like, not even close. Probably the closest thing that I have would be some of my Terra Moons single shadows. And what I am doing right now, we've got a little crazy on that side. Ah! That was totally unintentional. I'll have to clean that up a little bit afterward. But I'm just taking that Your Choice shade and working it into the inner corner. I think I'm actually gonna put some onto the brow bone as well, just again because I want to use as many colors from this palette as I can. Probably wouldn't do that in real life, but this is just kind of for the sake of trying everything out. That is really lovely. I'm gonna do the same thing on this side. And again, this was the color Your Choice. I'm surprised by how blue it comes off on camera or in real life after it's applied. I definitely thought it was going to be more of a kind of red, you know, kind of like Solstice from Urban Decay, but that's definitely not what I'm seeing here. So it was a little bit of a surprise. Kind of almost reminds me of Glass Bowl from ColourPop as well. Definitely not the same, but similar, has similar vibes. And now I'm just taking Slow Burn from the Electric palette. I'll definitely do winged liner with these just because it is a very dramatic look. I also grabbed some of my ColourPop eyeliners. I think I dropped the purple one, but I'll break that out on the other side. So this color is called... Actually, I don't see it on here, but it is one from their Neon collection. And I actually really do like the pencil liners from ColourPop. I know some people don't, but I will say that they are very, very fragile. So I do feel like they are pretty prone to breakage. I don't have any major issues with it just because I just kind of, if that happens, I just push it back in. And not a big fan of that, but oh well. It'll come together in the end, I promise. And then for the other side, for this one, I'm gonna do purple and pink. I'm gonna do pink in the center, and then I think I'm gonna do purple more so on the corners here. Now I gotta grab the purple eyeliner I dropped on the floor. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna go over that a little bit with some shadow just to kind of set everything down. Let's see here. I do have an eyeliner brush. This is another Real Techniques brush. I think it was from their holiday collection last year. Okay, so I think that looks really good. I am gonna go ahead and finish it off with mascara and then pop some liner on, and then I'll kind of zoom in and we can check out the final look. But I think it's safe to say that this is a beautiful palette and I cannot wait to get a lot of use out of it. So here we are. I'm extremely, extremely happy with it. I'm definitely hoping that they come out with more in the future. But so far, I'd give it a 10 out of 10. So hopefully they launch more stuff in the future. If you guys would tell me what some of your favorite indie brands are, that would be bomb. I really want to make sure that this year with my makeup purchases that I do have a larger focus on indie brands. I feel like they're really leading the market this year. That's not why I'm interested, but definitely just the fact that they have just so much more care and character put into their products. I know I criticized these guys a little bit at the beginning, just with the packaging and stuff like that, but honestly a lot of that does come with just having a smaller brand. It does take time to kind of be able to afford those things. And most of the time, indie brands are more expensive. I feel like this was pretty reasonable. I want to say that I paid $35 for it. And that included the mirror. I'll have to double check on that. If anything has changed, I'll put it in the description. I'll link it in the description as well so you can find it. I believe that it is currently out of stock. Which sucks, but I think that they'll probably be doing a restock in the fall. But yeah, tell me what some of your favorite indie brands are. I've really been liking Menagerie Cosmetics, Menagerie Makeup, Menagerie. You guys know what I'm talking about. So hopefully I can get my hands on the Flight Club palette, but I'm gonna try not to buy too many palettes, just because I do have a lot of things to play with that I haven't given as much love lately as I should. But we've got all summer to play around. If there's anything else that you guys would like to see, let me know. And then I'll do one last zoom in with flash. That way you can see how much it really sparkles in person, because I definitely think it's one of those things that in person, it's like an 11 out of 10 sparkly. And then I feel like on camera, it's more like a 9 out of 10.